It's always especially exciting when we have something brand new. And we've gone all the way down under to bring you this brand new product from Couture Creations. It's called the Go Foil and Press Machine.
Go Press and Foil.
Rats, I keep messing
You want me
that
to
up.
say it?
Evidently. It's a
Go Press and Foil.
Thank you. And it's gorgeous. That's what you need to know.
You're going to be able to make beautiful creations. We're going to show you how.
Exactly. Come play with us. Okay, here's the stuff, and there's the machine, but really I want to show you this because this is what you can end up doing. And it's gorgeous. You can see the foiling.
You can see the foiling, and it's done with Hotfoil Stamps, that With Love. That's a Hotfoil stamp that applied that foil to that black cardstock. And even the chipboard shapes are covered with foil.
You can use chipboard, you can use laser wood, so many other things. And that's another thing that I love about this.
You can put it on patterned paper, you can put it on specialty papers. We're going to show you that as well.
Okay,
so it starts with these elements. So if we back out, let's leave it all here for a second and just talk about what you get when you get the Go Press and Foil machine.
Right.
So it comes with this base. This is going to be plugged into a standard outlet, and it's going to heat up this platform that will pull out like so. And this is warm right now, but it's not like too hot for me to touch. That's no problem.
Okay.
It's the Hotfoil stamps, the metal piece, that will get heated up. It opens up like so. I'll show you a demo with that, but it comes with the machine. Comes with a couple of sample rolls of gold and silver foiling that you can use. It comes with these little picker-uppers, got a magnet on there, so you can move those Hotfoil stamps around without hurting your fingers.
Good.
And a little map to place those on when you're done. I've got the die cutting
and an
machine
instruction
here.
book.
And an instruction book, right, which is great. Shows you how to do many different methods. But I've also got the Big Shot sitting here because you're going to use that as well. But this is what comes with it.
Yeah, and you can use any machine that you have.
Any die cutting machine.
So these are the Hotfoil stamps. Now, it looks like a cutting die because it's metal, but it doesn't cut. It presses into the foiling.
It debosses into your paper, into your cardstock, and the foil gets into those debossed areas. It's just super elegant. It looks like it was done, I don't know, like for a wedding invitation. These would be great for wedding invitations.
They're beautiful. And the variety of things that you can do. So this is obviously with the silver. So there are all kinds of the Hotfoil stamps.
Right.
We'll show you some.
Greetings. So you've got birthday, you've got With Love, celebrate lots of these. And there's also this pack of the GoPress Foil Me. Comes with 4 colors, these 4 rolls. I'm looking for the dimensions. Each one is 4.9,
almost 5 inches,
almost 5 inches
5 yards.
by a little over 5 yards,
So
almost
15
5.5 yards.
Yeah,
So
and then you
wonderful.
can get individual colors too. And the foil is pretty inexpensive, actually, as are the Hotfoil stamps. So, going to go back to this, and then Gail's going to start doing a demo. This is using 2 different ones, these gorgeous rose, which I love.
And that's using the silver from the Foil Me pack. Let's actually go into the next card because that's the one I'm actually doing.
Oh, okay.
I know, but I wanted to show this is the most basic thing that you can do is Go Press and Foil stamping on a card, and then you've got stamping on cardstock and doing the chipboard pieces.
So show us steps.
Okay, show you steps. I have a piece of cardstock. Here's where we're going to go ahead and back out, and we're going to stay backed out so that you can see what we're doing while we're working on this. Cardstock. I've got a piece of the foil, and there are 2 sides to this. There's a shiny side, which is your color, and then there's kind of a matte side, but the colorful side is that shiny side. I'm going to set that down. And then I've got one of the Hotfoil stamps. This one says With Love, but it's backwards, and this is how we're going to use it. The machine has already been plugged in. I push the button and just follow the instructions in the manual. It's really clear about when to push that on. Wait till that green light is going, and then we open it up. So this is shoved into place. It's nice and secure. I can actually kind of touch that. It's warm, but it's not going to burn me. So that's fine. So now I have my Hotfoil stamp, and I can place it.
And so it needs to heat up.
For about a minute. Or 30 seconds. 30 seconds to a minute. So we're going to let that heat up.
Okay.
And when I was talking about 2 sides to this, basically when you're looking at this foil, you're looking at the colored side, like this is the shiny side. Oh, that's the color I want. But to make sure that that's what you get, your paper or cardstock or anything has to be on the opposite side. So anytime you use this, the cardstock has to be, or the paper has to be in touch with that off color side so that you can see the nice shiny up above. And we'll show you how. So I think that's probably been enough time. So that's nice and heated up. Don't touch that metal. That's where if you want, when you want to touch it, you want to use the tweezers so that it doesn't get hurt. Okay, so that your fingers don't get hurt. Now I'm placing it shiny, colorful side toward that piece.
Toward the die.
Toward the stamp. And then I'm going to place my cardstock. I want it to transfer to this cardstock. I'm going to place that right on top of it. I always use a larger piece of cardstock so that you can cut it down to the size that you want. And so I just pulled that out just like so. Don't lift it up. You got to sort of pull it out. And then we're just going to leave that there because we're going to come back to it. And I've got my die cutting machine, and I added a little bit of cardstock under here because you're pulling out your platform entirely and you're just using the GoPress and foil piece.
How many pieces of cardstock?
I used about 3, but it's totally going to depend on your machine. That's totally up to you. You don't want a lot of pressure because too much pressure can damage your GoPress
you're
and
not
foil
cutting
machine.
it, you're just transferring.
You're not cutting. None of this is going to do any cutting. So I've gone through, I picked it up and it pulled it right off. Usually I have to pull it off afterwards. So there it is. It has debossed into there, and with a little more pressure you can get more debossing. If I were to, you'll notice that a little bit of the black is, and that's, I may not have left it on there long enough, so you want to make sure that you do that. So after that, let's back out. Let's stay back out here because I'm going to put that, set that on the machine with that in the picture. There we go. And now is when I use these to remove this. So it does have a magnet on there, so it should make it a little easier. You should be able to pick it up and then place it over there.
And then you would just close that and push it in.
Leave it, push it in.
And so it's going red. Do you see the red light?
Yeah, the red light is flashing, so it's starting to heat up again, so it'll be ready for the next application.
Hot. Okay.
And that can sit there for a long time. We've used it for quite a few hours. It'll shut off or go into sort of a sleep mode when you're not using it.
Oh, good to know. Okay. Now, that's the process for doing really everything, but what's wonderful about this is you are not limited to only using the Hotfoil stamps.
That's right.
You can do other stuff, which I love.
Which are these? So these are beautiful, and we have more than one kind of, I can't think
These
of
are laser chipboard.
Laser chipboard. More than one kind of chipboard. But those, I mean, that's such quite a bit of detail in there. So let me show you how to do that.
Okay.
So the machine is heating up. We're going to back out.
It's not ready.
We're going to back out and sort of stay out so we can see this. There we go. Okay. So it says that it's not ready, but there we go.
Now it's ready.
Now it's green. So I open it up, and here's how I start. This time I start with the chipboard. I go ahead and place that. It does have a grid on there if you want to try to line it up, and you can do that. I like to just make things larger so that it's easy to cut down afterwards. So here is the foil. I've got that shiny side. Oh no, I'm doing it wrong. Okay, so I'm doing it wrong. I want to actually place the foil down first. This is the interesting part, because remember, whatever you want the foil to be on, you want the chipboard or the paper, you want it on that non-shiny side. So in this case, you actually place the foil down first.
Oh my goodness.
Shiny side down, basically colorful side down. And then you're going to place your chipboard on there. And it's really not too hot for me to touch. And I like to put a piece of cardstock on there, just make sure that I've got enough even pressure when I'm going through the Big Shot or whatever.
Now we have to leave that for 30 seconds also?
Leave that, no we don't. The only time we have to leave it on there is when it's the metal, because we have to heat up the metal.
Because it has to heat up, okay.
Yeah, so this should just be
you're
just
not heating
fine,
that
and
up.
we'll see if I'm right. Okay, because it's pretty warm as it is. You can leave it on there, it's not gonna hurt anything. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it through.
Now we're using chipboard. You can also use laser cut wood. and
Right.
so any of those.
Right.
Especially pretty because you can get that filigree look.
I'm just going to set it right there. It's a nice place to just set it. Open it up, and we'll see if Paulette was right and I should have waited. We'll find out in just a moment. So we can pick this up. Now if we zoom in, we'll just pull that. No, you were right. I should have let it sit. I should have let it sit. I did it before. I know I did, and it just came right off. So I'm going to leave it on there.
Okay.
I'm going to
heat
put
it a
it
little
back.
bit more?
We'll put it back in and let it sit there for a moment. In fact, I'll put my cardstock on top of it. But when it's done, it's going to make a beautiful look. No, I haven't got it.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Make sure it's pushed all the way in.
Okay. So you are doing.
While we're looking at, we could look at another card. I suppose.
And yes, you know, we have to add dazzles upon occasion. So that, and I guess that's the other part of this is how little you have to add to it. I mean, you can do so many things. Now this is the frame.
Right, so there's this nice, beautiful frame. So it's the frame Hotfoil stamp. And it does not do any cutting, so it's not going to cut that center out. But Debbie did that. Once she did it on the front of her card, she actually cut the center out because there was sort of a line that she could follow just from the impression. And then she used the Celebrate Hotfoil stamp on the inside.
Very
So that's pretty cool. Okay, I think we've waited long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And we're going to put it directly over into the machine, to the embossing and die cut machine. When you're doing this, just make sure that you can feel a little bit of pressure. And if you feel like you're not getting real good contact, add another piece of cardstock. I'm going to set it right there. Open it up. Okay, let's see if we did it right this time. All right. And I might transfer a little bit to the outside pieces, but okay. All right. Well, I think because I didn't do it right the first time and allow it to heat up, but you can see.
Actually, that's not bad. I mean, I think that's kind of pretty.
It will do it over the whole thing. It is pretty, but it'll do it over the whole thing, like it did on the card. And I did it on this piece of chipboard as well. So I think that was the deal, that you set it down and you let it sit there for a few seconds. We're going to go ahead and back out because and we'll put it back in there for one more once we look at something else.
So the Celebrate, just want to point out also, this is combining two different colors. So the gold and then the green, of course, just really, really pretty. And this is on Rooted in Love
Rooted
paper,
in Love.
I believe.
So I like it on the pattern
Mm-hmm.
papers. That's really pretty. And this was done just on cardstock, but I tried it out on some specialty papers. So I've got it on the gold metallic, and that is the chocolate.
I was just going to ask. Oh,
so that's a really neat look, and it even worked on the silver linen. Really
so you
simple to
can
do.
use some specialty papers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this has got a texture to it, but because it debosses into there, it still works.
Very nice. Now I have another sample, and this is also using the laser cut chipboard, but because these are, I mean, they're not giant words, of course, you might want to use a design toolkit to get a color in there.
I'm just going to put something on there while we're talking.
Okay, you're doing something. Okay, because we know the importance of it heating up. So anyway, you can use some things to frame your words too, and very, very nice. So
that I love it on the chipboard. That's just beautiful, and that's been backed on paper. And Susan cut out tiny little paper flowers.
Of course
to
she did.
Tape in place.
But I want to point out that this is the same color. So this is the blue and the same color on the thanks. So just really, really, really nice.
Just beautiful.
And you have another idea?
I have another little thing that we talk about. Also, by the way, you can see the product video for this on our page. It wasn't done by me, but it is something that's very useful. It shows some different things that you can do with it that we're not showing here. So you might find something interesting there. But one of the things I did learn is cutting dies. So this is one of our cutting dies, and I've placed it so that the cutting surface is up on there, and I'm letting it sit there and heat up. You can actually use these cutting dies to transfer foil, but it's not going to cut. It's just going to transfer that foil image.
So you're going to get a different look.
Right. So now I've got the foil. I'm going to place the foil on that word. Just make sure it's
shiny side next to the
shiny side next to the cutting die. And then because I want it to transfer onto my cardstock, I'll place my cardstock on top of there. So that should be nice and hot. And I'm going to close that up and bring it over to my big shot. And remember, if you feel like you're not getting enough pressure, add another piece of cardstock. We just run it through.
And you're not really cranking that hard. I mean, you're just kind of letting it go through.
Right. If it was too much pressure, you could damage this top plate, and you really don't want to do that.
Right.
So I'm just going to set that there, and we'll see what happens. We pull up our piece with our foil on there. Don't touch that cutting die. And then when you pull this away, now, if we're going to have to get in close to see that because it's a little bit, but it does leave this beautiful foiled edge on there. So that is a beautiful, and you can do that with some really ornate cutting dies and just get some really interesting looks. So I did it in blue here, but here's one I did in pink. It really stands out nicely.
So probably the more vibrant color would work. Best. So
it's
really
beautiful.
Nice.
You could do that on black cardstock with silver.
Oh, wouldn't that be striking? Yes.
So that is the GoPress and foil machine.
So the GoPress is can be used in many ways, and that's the thing that I think is most important.
Right.
And you can do
chipboard. You can do chipboard. You can use the hot press stamps.
Hotfoil stamps.
Hotfoil stamps. You can do it directly onto here. And I know I didn't show a great way of putting it on there, but it really does work well.
Okay.
So you can try it and see.
Very nice. And you can use lots of other things with it. So I think that's what's always exciting with something new.
Right.
Lots of versatility. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
See you then.